Hello, 2024 is here, guys. We're going to reach higher heights than ever before. So I spent my last 6 weeks in South Africa. It was incredible catching up with friends and family, taking a bit of a break from the usual routine. But I'm back highly motivated and hungry to reach higher levels than ever before this year. So before I get into what this video is all about, I thought I'd just take a quick moment to reintroduce myself. So I'm Nick Bester, and I've been running for 11 years now. When I first started running, I started at the 3:17 marathon mark, and I've worked the way down to 2 hours, 20 minutes and 8 seconds. Need to find 9 more seconds and break 2:20 this year. In 5K terms, I started off at just over 25-minute 5K, so just over 5 minutes a K, and my 5K PB now is 14:34. And I'm hoping that, I definitely haven't peaked, and we're going to reach higher heights. But I wouldn't consider myself a professional runner, definitely not. I'm you get the elites, and then you get a level just below, which is a sub-elite, so I would consider myself a sub-elite. And I've learned a hell of a lot over the last 11 years. And my purpose for a lot of my videos this year and sharing them with you is to help you improve. I've never been the most talented runner. I am talented, yes, but definitely not the most talented. But I believe that with hard work, dedication, consistency, showing up, training smart, it's helped me reach, levels in my running career that I never ever thought I would dream of when I first started. And hopefully by me teaching you some of these things, that can help you improve as well. Even if you learn just 1 or 2 things throughout my vlogs this year, that's what I aim to do. So before I get into today's video, I just want to let you know that I'm still at full capacity coaching wise. I would love to help as many runners improve as possible. So I'll showcase a lot in videos. If spots do open up, I will announce on my socials. However, if you did want to get coaching from me or start with one of my assistant coaches first, please go ahead and do so. And as soon as the spot opens up, you can always transfer across to me. I'll put in the coaching details in the description below. And another super exciting thing coming up is I've started a race series called the Best Race Series. So it's a series of 5 and 10Ks at Battersea Park. The first one is on the 13th of January. Thank you so much to those who have entered. Please, if you feel like doing it, enter. I would love to have you there. I'm going to be on the microphone as the race director, and it's going to be just an incredible vibe. It's been officially certified by England Athletics. Every entry participant will get a free pair of Versa socks, and something I've always wanted to do for ages. So hopefully, I can really create a fast route for people to be smashing their PBs. And please get involved. Okay, now on to today's video. Today's video is all about how to structure your weekly training to make sure you're training as smart and productive as possible. Okay, tip number 1, as much as 70 to 80% of your weekly training should be easy everyday running. Okay, so just think about what you're doing in the week and then work out percentage-wise, are you doing too much speed or too little speed? In many cases, I've actually seen the ratio the opposite way, where 70 to 80% of someone's training is quality and very little is actually easy running. And that's just a recipe for injury. So by easy running, I mean everyday chatty miles. If you're following a heart rate, you don't want to go above 72% of your maximum heart rate. So if you're using a heart rate monitor, they are built into your watch, which is deadly accurate when you're not sweating. But as soon as sweat gathers underneath, you need an actual heart rate monitor. So I encourage you to get a strap, either a chest strap or an arm strap. And at times, of course, you're going to go over 72% of your max heart rate when you're running up a hill and so on and so forth. But your overall average should be around 72% of your maximum heart rate or just under. So that's also known as the zone 2 run. A lot of runners ask me, what pace should my easy runs be? And honestly, everybody's got a different pace for the easy runs. What I would say is it just must feel easy. If you can have a conversation with someone on the phone the whole way, if you can switch off, listen to something, that's the purpose of an easy run. Okay, so tip number 2, you need to keep your harder days hard. Okay, if you just do easy running all the time, you're going to improve at a much slower rate than if you incorporate some harder, faster, speedy work into your training. And a lot of us love getting PBs. Why wouldn't you? And the magic is made in these faster days. Okay. So in these hard days, you really need to dial in the mind. You need to focus. I often take a little bit of time before session to set the mind for what's to come. It hurts. Of course it hurts. But then again, you know, parts of racing hurts. And I feel like the more you go through that pain, the better the feeling is afterwards. Okay. So you're probably looking to around 2 to 2.5 harder days in a week and space them out. And you're going to get uncomfortable in these sessions. But what I always say is you need to start getting comfortable with that feeling of being uncomfortable. And that's when you'll start unlocking some of your true potential and see those results coming through. Okay, tip number 3, how your structure should ideally look within your training week. So I've played around with a lot of different structures in my running career. I like testing different things and seeing what works best. And I've really found that this sort of structure works best for me and a lot of runners that I've coached and do currently coach. So on a Monday, easy day, okay? It doesn't need to be these days. You can shift them around to work for your life. But this is generally a structure that works. So Monday, keep it easy every day. Like I say, zone 2, maximum 70% of your max heart rate, chatty miles. If you're quite an established runner, you can do it as a run. But if you're fairly new into running, you can do it as a form of cross training. So I highly encourage cross training throughout training. Things like swimming, spin bike, elliptical, all those non-impact cross training activities really, really help your body recover on those easier days whilst still maintaining that aerobic engine. Then on a Tuesday, track or interval session Tuesday. So many people do it on a Tuesday all over the world. And for the session, you really are pushing paces. You're having static or an easy walk recovery to recover, and you're going faster than target race pace in a lot of this. So a typical example might be something like 10 times 400 meters with the 60-second recovery in between, where you're really pushing paces. Then Wednesday, once again, similar to Monday, nice and easy recovery, either easy jog or cross training. Thursday, alternating between tempo work or threshold work and hill repeats. So tempo or threshold just means you're working harder than normal, but not all out racing. And hills are always a crucial part of training, even for when training for a flatter race. So a lot of us enter a flatter race with minimal elevation and think we don't need hills. We definitely do need hills. Hills pay the bill, don't neglect them. And trust me, you'll thank yourself for that. Then Friday, rest day. I encourage one full rest day in a week to really allow your body to absorb that training. If you want to do some, you know, lighter stretching, foam rolling, Pilates or anything like that, feel free to go ahead, especially if you find it mentally rejuvenating like I do as well. But allow the body a break from the continuous running to just absorb that training. Then Saturday, either an easy shakeout, and if that's the case, then a real quality section within your longer run on Sunday. And by quality, I mean faster section, something like, you know, 2 or 3 times 5K within your longer run, or 5 times 10 minutes with 2 minutes easy jog recovery. Or you can have a real quality Saturday, so something like race a park run or do 8 times 1K session, something like that. And if that's the case, then obviously you're going to have an easy longer run on the Sunday. So check your ratio, make sure you're doing around 70 to 80% of stuff easy. But the magic is made in that 20 to 30% of those harder days, and you really want to focus on those. That's a good structure. Try and not do back-to-back harder days. We all need to move days around here and there because of work, family, life commitments. But avoid back-to-back harder days because that can tend to cause an increase in niggles and a higher chance of injury. Okay, so number 4, these are my tips for each of those days. So Monday and Wednesday, those recovery days. If you're feeling like the body is pretty fatigued from running and the constant pounding, then please do them as a form of cross training. If you're very new to running, you can even do it as a walk, a recovery walk, and then eventually into cross training, and then eventually when your body can handle the load into running. Okay, Tuesday, track or interval session Tuesday helps so much more if you've got a group or someone to work with. Pacing's just easier when you're not suffering alone. If you don't have a running group, feel free to join Best Athletics. There's lots of people doing it all over the world, and that just makes you feel like you're part of a team a bit more. Then Thursdays, tempo or heels. So remember, you don't want to fall into the trap of racing tempo. I've been there before. I've done it in groups where paces pick up, and eventually before you know it, you're racing. You probably want to be operating around 85 to 90% effort levels. So you can definitely find another gear for race day. And if you push that too hard, you're going to pay for it on your weekend. Once again, for heels, I would recommend probably alternating between heel sprints, which is short, fast bursts up a steep hill, something like 20 times 15 seconds. And then the following heel session, heel repeats, so longer gradual repeats, something from like 45 up to 60 seconds. So maybe 6 times 60 seconds up a gradual heel. Then on your Saturday quality section, you really want to have one of these days as a harder day. So Tuesday's your harder day, and then Thursday's your intermediate day, and either Saturday or Sunday for your harder day, you want to get up early, fuel properly for your session. That's where the money's made. And for that easier day, just really switch off the mind. There's only so much mental capacity we have when pushing our bodies. So you really want to save that mental capacity for those 2.5 harder days. Everything else, switch off, allow it to rejuvenate, just as we're allowing our bodies to rejuvenate as well. And then another tip is that your strength and conditioning, don't neglect it, especially in your early years of running when your body is still adjusting to running. You need that in order to stay injury free, and try and do that on your harder days. So on your Tuesdays or Thursdays or weekend day, so that your body is really able to recover on the easier days. Also, what I'm going to try and do better this year is allow for that 10 to 15 minutes a day of you time where you really focus on foam rolling, core, stretching, mobility. Those little bits and pieces in and around running go such a long way at the end of the day. And finally, tip number 5, okay? This comes down to being consistent. You hear it all the time, but one thing that helps with that is by planning your week, okay? Even if you've planned a few weeks up until your race or a few months up until your race, amazing, incredible. When you have a clear picture, it's so much easier to get stuck into routine, and with routine comes consistency. I promise you, if you do something later, it never gets done. And if you've got it planned and in front of you, you know exactly what you're in for. It's not a surprise on a day-to-day basis. So if you've got a coach, amazing. A lot of your stuff should be planned and you'll see what's coming up. If you don't, I do offer training guides as well. Then the description below, I'll put them in there. But basically, once you know what you're in for and you mentally prepare for it, it's a whole lot easier to be consistent and stay motivated throughout training. Often what I find helps with this is putting your running clothes out the day before, or I actually build a workout into my watch a day before so I know it's coming up the next day. I know a lot of the time I try and get my runs done in the morning, and then they're done and I can start my day. Best way to start the day, that's for sure. But if you don't have that luxury, and I know in a lot of the cases where I do tend to do evening sessions, a lot of the time I'm tired from work, the day just gets away. So really try and get on the front foot with those. Once it's done, your day will start, and it's the most productive way to start your day, I promise you. Okay, there you have it, some of my top tips to make your week as productive and train as smart as possible. Go get it, guys. I'm excited. Please put some of your goals in the description for this year. I would love to see them. Go back on them once you've got them. It gives me motivation as well. And let's make 2024 an absolute cracking year. Let's go. Boom Shakalaka. Go get it.